We can define an electromagnetic wave completely or properly if and only if we know the properties of the medium. Considering a time varying field, the properties like intrinsic impedance, propagation constant, etc. are very significant. So, in today's video, I am going to discuss about intrinsic impedance. In the process, we will understand what is the relation between E vector and H vector in free space. That is basically electric field intensity and magnetic field intensity contributing to an electromagnetic wave. What is the relation between them? We will exactly get a relation also. So, the term intrinsic impedance is very significant in that sense also. So, here also we will assume that uniform plane wave is propagating in z direction and electric field and magnetic field are mutually perpendicular to each other, such that E is in x direction and H is in y direction. So, by considering this, during the course of deriving uniform plane wave equation from Maxwell equation, curl of E equals minus del bar B by del bar T. So, starting from this, we obtained variation of Ex with respect to z, that is del bar Ex by del bar z to be minus mu del bar Hy by del bar T. So, I will be using this result directly from the previous derivation, that is directly from the derivation of expression for uniform plane wave, that is uniform plane wave equation. So, please revisit that derivation to understand how I obtained this from this Maxwell's equation. Okay, by substituting those conditions, that is Ex and Hy are perpendicular and it does not vary mutually in each direction, and it varies, the wave travels in z direction. Keeping all this in mind, I got this. Okay, I am not going to derive it again. Okay, now from propagation of the wave, that is from the previous video, we have Ex equals E1 cos omega t minus beta z, which is my forward wave, and then I have the backward wave with magnitude E2 varying as cos of omega t plus beta z. Okay. Now, what I am going to do is, I am going to differentiate, that is partially differentiate this particular propagation equation with respect to z. Okay, with respect to space, that is with respect to z, I am going to partially differentiate this, so that I will get del bar Ex by del bar z with respect to propagation of wave. So, if I find partial differential with respect to z, this becomes minus sine cos omega t minus beta z multiplied by minus beta. So, minus minus becomes plus. So, this becomes, the first term becomes beta E1 sine omega t minus beta z plus the second term E2 cos omega t plus beta z. So, differential of cos is minus sine. So, minus sine omega t plus beta z multiplied by beta. So, I get it as minus beta E2 sine of omega t plus beta z. I hope this is fine. Okay, so here obviously my beta is constant and common in both the terms, so I can write it as beta E1 sine omega t minus beta z, right, minus E2 sine omega t plus beta z. Okay, this entire thing. So this is my deba ex by deba z. So I'll use this result in equation number 1, because in LHS I had deba ex by deba z. Now I'll replace this deba ex by deba z in terms of propagation equation, that is partial differential of propagation equation. So equation number 1 now becomes beta times E1 sine omega t minus beta z minus E2 sine omega t plus beta z on the right hand side, and on left hand side, and on right hand side I have minus mu deba hy by deba t. Okay, so I just rearrange this. So I'll try to bring these constant terms onto same side, onto the single side. So this mu beta also same side. So I'll rewrite this equation as deba hy by deba t equal to, I'll bring the mu to the other side and this negative sign also. So this becomes minus beta by mu multiplied by E1 sine omega t minus beta z minus E2 sine omega t plus beta z. Yeah, this is fine. So this is what I get as deba hy by deba t. But I am interested in finding hy, not the variation of hy with respect to time. I am interested in finding what is hy. So in cause of finding hy, or how I am going to find hy is, I have to obviously integrate this equation. If I integrate this equation, both sides, integral of differential becomes hy. So integrating on both sides. Okay, so if I integrate above equation with respect to time, I get hy equals, yeah, I have to integrate both the terms separately. I'll do it in one go. If you are a slow learner of mathematics, you please write it in steps. So here I have, this is anyway constant, I have to integrate, E1 is also constant, I have to integrate sine omega t minus beta z with respect to dt and sine omega t plus beta z with respect to dt. So while integrating, I'll end up with the integral of sine omega t. Okay, I'll write one step so that for slow learners it will be helpful. So integral of sine omega t minus beta z with respect to dt will give me minus cos omega t minus beta z divided by omega, because I am doing with respect to t dt, so omega act as constant. So minus cos omega t minus beta z by omega, right? So this I can substitute here. This will be similarly minus cos omega t plus beta z by omega. So substituting this, I get, so this minus and minus becomes plus here. So this becomes beta divided by omega mu E1 cos omega t minus beta z, that will be the first term, and second term will be minus of, okay, sorry, here I have minus outside, I have here minus inside, so this minus minus becomes plus, but integral is again minus, so this will remain minus. Okay, so minus beta by omega mu E2 cos omega t plus beta z. Okay, so this is my Hy. So I get my Hy as beta by omega mu E1 cos omega t minus beta z minus beta by omega mu E2 cos omega t plus beta z. Now I have to I got this equation, okay, Hy. Now I will simply compare this equation with my propagation equation. What is the propagation equation of Hy? Hy is given by H1 cos of omega t minus beta z plus H2 cos omega t plus beta z. I understand that this is forward moving wave and this is backward moving wave, right? So if I directly compare, okay, compare this equation, you name some A and this is B, you compare these two equations A and B. What do you observe? When you compare these two equations, beta by omega mu E1 is in the place of H1 and beta by omega mu E2 is in the place of H2. I am neglecting this sign because I have differentiated this now, and this negative sign indicates that it's in opposite direction. Okay, so H1 stands for, right, H1 can be written as or equated as beta by omega mu into E1. Similarly, I can write for H2 also, but I am just interested in anyone. I just found relation between H and E, right? Yeah. So we get H1 equal to beta by omega mu E1. Now let us try to take the ratio of this. A ratio something, okay, because it is always better to write it in ratio when we find the relations, right? So let me take a ratio of E1 by H1. E1 by H1. So the relation between E1 or the ratio of E1 by H1 will give me omega mu by beta. Okay, just bring this H1 this side and take this the other side. So you get that E1 by H1 is omega mu by beta. And in the previous video, I have already given you what is beta. Beta is nothing but phase constant given by omega into square root of mu epsilon. This we know. So that I will substitute here. So this equation becomes omega mu divided by omega into square root of mu epsilon. So it's very straightforward. Omega cancels. So this equation now becomes as mu can be written as square root of mu into square root of mu, that is mu divided by square root of mu into square root of epsilon. Again, it's very straightforward that this square root mu cancels. So I end up like this. I have now E1 by H1 as the ratio E1 by H1 as square root of mu by epsilon. So I got a relation between E and H. This can be generalized, okay, because this is just a magnitude relation. Okay, so E2 by H2 will also hold good. So in general, E by H, I can call in general this as E by H relation. Okay, so if you find just the magnitude ratio, if you just take the magnitude ratio, I get that E by H is square root of mu by epsilon, and this ratio is known as intrinsic impedance. This ratio is known as intrinsic impedance. There is a new term or medium parameter which is given by intrinsic impedance. We use neta or eta, we say, okay, basically neta to represent this. So the intrinsic impedance neta is square root of mu by epsilon. So this is very important medium parameter, okay, maybe. And this, since it is known as impedance, the unit is ohms, okay, unit is ohms because it's impedance, unit is ohms, it is measured in ohms. Now see, we'll go further. something interesting. We are talking about free space because the wave propagation was found in free space. So my mu r and epsilon r will be 1. So this ratio can be further written as mu naught by epsilon naught, this much value ohms, right? So and I know what is mu naught, I know what is epsilon naught, they are constant values. If I substitute that, I get intrinsic impedance of free space as 377 ohms. So it's a constant value. Okay, so the intrinsic impedance of free space is always 377 ohms. So it's a constant. I can say that intrinsic impedance is a constant value if you are considering the propagation of wave is in free space. Okay, so the propagation of wave will be affected by intrinsic impedance, but the effect will be constant. I already know that, okay, intrinsic impedance is this much ohms, so that particular value has some effect on my propagation of wave. Okay, so to understand better what is the exact effect of these medium properties, that is properties of medium on propagation of wave, we should learn what is propagation constant. And in the course of learning propagation constant, we will learn in detail what is attenuation constant and phase constant beta. I have already given you the expression for phase constant, but we have to check or see mathematically how we are obtaining that expression for beta. In coming videos, we will discuss about propagation constant, right? So this video was made for intrinsic impedance and thereby to find the relation between E and H. Hope intrinsic impedance is very clear. Bye.